Okay, and this final video in the series, and I will add a source soon, is related to life coaching, being a life coach. And this is one that I particularly do not want to associate myself with because it is more often than not related to the belief that a successful human life is very much related to the cults of the monetary paradigm, right? And this is not at all what I want to encourage and pursue. And in fact, it is in many ways a contradiction to uh, life skills because let's say life coaching has a lot of rhetoric in it, which is not a win-win form of communication. And for healthy communities, win-win scenarios, which a life skills coach would be an expert in. So I'm not. So when people call me you're a life coach, it's insulting to me because I'm a life skills coach, and that is the premise to develop a human operating system that I actually want to encourage. And this is why I'm doing this series to define it properly. So hold on, I'll come back with some definitions and sources. Okay, take this with a grain of salt here. I'm going to read just one sentence that was on my previous search for essential skills. So this is not related to life coaching. Take it with a grain of salt. It comes from skillscanada.bc.ca. So I know that the books that Canada used for a very long time, Canadian Concepts by Pearson, the publisher, is I had wanted to rewrite those. There's 6 of them years ago, and I didn't get a very professional response for that. And I worry about the harm it's done within the concept of domestication and indoctrination with a lot of new immigrants. So I knew that immigration would be through political and climate related and economic issues that the failed proto societies of the people primates would increase. So I wanted to rewrite this as part of my legacy as well to leave behind. So, when it comes to citing the government sources, I'm a little bit worried. But this is a good definition of, or just a sentence of essential skills, which again was under the soft skills, okay? And I quoted the source. An essential skill is a necessary developed ability or capacity acquired through deliberate, systematic, and sustained efforts to smoothly and adaptively carry out complex activities or job functions involving ideas, things, and or people. Okay, so again, this would be more related to work, and it's hard to find work where you don't relate to people. And this talks about being largely successful at it. So for me, this would be under just professionalism. And again, like there could be people that claim to be the best on their website. That's what they do, but their people skills are no comment. So let me get back to the source here of I seem judgmental here, and it is not something that I am like when I teach life skills. But again, life coaching, for example, and the business world and professional world, if the behaviors can be measured to be a professional based on this previous definition of essential skills, is is a big issue, and it makes people that have learned life skills and become good at it, which means human thinking tools. It makes them start to suffer from the grass is greener on the other side syndrome, which means they believe that they live in the exception of the only non-human community on the planet, and they keep dreaming about finding other human communities. But I'm telling you that I've traveled the world, and even before doing this research, is that life skills, developing human type communities, is something I'm still searching for. So let me get back to the last definition of life coaching. Okay, well, I've found a source, and it is called verywellmind.com. So that's the words they chose. They didn't choose for a healthier mind.com, for example. So it lacks a little bit of objectivity, but I think my little red flag triggers about that term is still kind of fairly used here because the definition is still something that I feel will not do too much harm if I state it here. What is a life coach? A life coach is a type of wellness professional. So again, be careful with that word wellness. I would think people would have either certain degrees or not, because sometimes people's life experiences and the decisions they made through life to take, let's say, their journey of personal development might exceed people with multiple PhDs in psychology or psychiatry or medical doctors or whatever. So again, you have to shop around a lot for something like this, and there's not as much clarity and certifications. I mean, there are people who pay large amounts of money to be certified with these various organizations as a life coach. But what I would worry about is that they would not have the same kind of skills that what people expect of them would have, such as counseling, life skills coaching, mental health, things like that. They would have, and of course, to have succeeded at role modeling these things in a healthy way for an extended period of time. So, a life coach is a type of wellness professional who helps people make progress in their lives in order to attain greater fulfillment. Life coaches aid their clients, using the word clients here, in improving their relationships, careers, and day-to-day lives. So again, this is not life skills. This is a definition of life coaching from the source, verywellmind.com. Life coaches can help you clarify your goals, identify the obstacles holding you back, and then come up with strategies for overcoming each obstacle. In creating these strategies, life coaches, just going to make sure it's still recording. Yes, it is because my light went off. Pardon the interruption. Holding you back and then come up with strategies for overcoming each obstacle. In creating these strategies, life coaches target your unique skills and gifts, which is a good sign. It means that it goes by the individual, right? A good life coach, I would assume, would really make it a client-centered, especially if they use that word, and not about what they excel at and guide a person down the same path, let's say, of entrepreneurialism. So for me, I could do such a thing. I have very little desire to. For example, I moved from one part of Canada to the other part and got better every year, and I could talk and guide based on these stories, and also how to find the right resources to succeed at this. And I also had a successful driving school where I had a very good reputation. So that means, in the business world, I could guide as well. But again, I might not be a good fit because somebody's business ideas might not be to just earn a living. It might be to become like a millionaire, which for me, if you become a millionaire, you've made other people poor. So it wouldn't match my own set of beliefs. By helping you to make the most of your strengths, life coaches provide the support you need to achieve long-lasting change. Now, if anybody wants to challenge me if I post these online and they are life coaches, you are welcome to challenge me to a public debate, because what I'm doing here is I'm defining these terms in a cultural way and generalized as they are largely used at this point, okay? And it is mostly to undo the damage of the term that is now being improperly used of life skills and a life skills coach. Who should consider working with a life coach? Many people seek out life coaches for guidance in navigating a significant life change, such as taking on a new career. In plenty of cases, however, people turn to life coaches simply to help in building a happier, more meaningful life. So again, with this last sentence, it could have nothing to do with the business world. So again, where do you get your training for being a life coach? If it focuses a lot on money and the business world, then would these people be trained for the categories that even this site names below? There are a number of indications that working with a life coach could be helpful for you. These signs include frequent irritability, high levels of stress and or anxiety, inability to break bad habits, a lack of fulfillment in social life, persistent feeling of dissatisfaction at work, sense of blocked creativity. I don't know. I don't know if if I agree with this as matching this definition of life coaches. In recent years, life coaches have acquired a considerable presence in the mainstream. Indeed, a growing number of creatives, executives, and entrepreneurs are now teaming up with life coaches to attain success in their professional and personal lives. So you see the category here that are looking for life coaches. So it sounds like more the business world. Types of life coaches. Some life coaches take a more general, all encompassing approach, but there are also many that specialize and focus on helping people in specific areas. Some of the different types of life coaches include, and again, I'm going to end here. This is my last video starting with the definition of life skills. So I'm not talking about life skills coaching right now. I'm talking about life coaching, which is a category I don't really want to put myself in. Although many of the categories I am about to name, where some life coaches might work in these categories, I would be able to do, but it's not my focus in promoting life skills programs for developing a human operating system. Addiction and sobriety coaching. I've never been drunk or had drug issues myself, yet I worked for 4 years in a treatment center, and I've attended many AA and NA meetings. So, of course, I saw a lot of sponsors, let's say, in these groups as being life coaches in a successful way. I saw some that were successful, but I could tell they were successful only with this specific branch of a person's life journey. So, it'd be important that they would stick only to their specialty. Now, again, people that have overcome addictions and that are sober in some way, um, it's a great thing to have accomplished. But I am also picking up a pattern that, let's say, people that have done hard drugs are now on soft drugs, and they have so much wisdom to pass on. They believe, their brains aren't functioning that great from the hard drugs, still now only on the soft drugs, and what they've learned, and they believe that they could actually, all these categories here, guide people along. So again, be careful with this. There are limits in the different categories of role modeling or life guidance that people can give you as life coaches. So please shop around, do your own thing. Other categories that it mentioned is business executive leadership coaching, career coaching, dating and relationship coaching, diet and fitness coaching, divorce coaching, family life coaching, financial coaching, health and wellness coaching, life skills coaching. Ooh, I got to be careful how they defined it here. Mental health coaching. Again, what's their training? Spirituality coaching, sports coaching. Now, I'm a certified badminton coach, which also allows me to be able to do well with coaching other things because there's a lot of transferable skills. So I'm going to end. Some people came down here, and it's a common area that they can use. But thank you very much because this is the end of what I wanted to explain. Thank you.